What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. So today we are going to take a look at Asmus Collectibles Bitten series. This is Dave and Dawn, and first and foremost I want to thank Asmus for making this video possible with these two figures. But if you want to order these figures, which is available now, you can head over to bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below, their official retailer for Asmus, and also you can go directly to the Asmus website to purchase this. Now, I love the Bitten series. I had Johnson, and I've been looking for like something like zombies for a long time now, because I do have a lot of figures that would complement these zombie figures. And zombies are like, I don't know, troopers. You can never have too many of them. And you can see here they do come with this die-cast handcuffs, and Asmus has this beautiful things inside of the packaging. So this is like a picture of Gollum from Lord of the Rings, which I love, their Lord of the Rings line. So it brought me to Asmus. And then you got this kind of like a catalog that showcases maybe what's in the Bitten series. So you got Dave, and you also got Johnson and Jackson in there. And on the back you see the series number, but also the upcoming ones. This is, you fold it inside, you got the picture and the batter, which I'm excited about. But what more so excites me is these twins. They look creepy as hell. I don't know how they would turn out, but I am all for it. They are zombies that looks like if you have Silent Hill or something like that, that would fit right in. So I am all for more zombies. And then you get this nice card as well of, I believe this is Johnson. Yep, Johnson. I never had Johnson. I have Jackson, which is equally as good. Don and Dave here from the Bitten series. Once again, you can never have too many zombies. I can just tell you that right now. Now, normally they do have, at least for my Jackson, it does come with this folder. It didn't came with this one, but they do have some backstories with their own. This is their own line. This is an Asmus line with Dave, and go to their website and you can see they're kind of like patient zero of some sort. It says here, I'm looking at it right now. They do have a backstory of how the virus spread, but you can also make your own. This is the beauty of these figures. And you can see it comes with an M16 with an M203 on it. It does have this working stand for his IV. I don't necessarily know what you call that. Look at the website. Let's see. This is the drip stand, apparently. One set of drip of ripped prisoner's suit. Okay, so that works, the caster and all that stuff. Apparently you could remove the IV. I don't know how to do that. Maybe you could. It's, oh yeah, there you go. There's an instruction. I didn't read that instruction, but mine came in one with right away, so no worries there. And then for accessory wise, I think it does have enough. You got extra pegs in there too, especially for the price. $155. You can't go wrong with that. That is cheaper than most third party. And then you do have, so I got Dave in here. You got, what's his name? I forgot. It's the same one. Don. They're both D's. So basically they're identical figures but different skin tone, to give it variations. Because like I said, zombies, you want hordes of them. You gotta army build the zombies to get the full scale. So that's why I said you can never have enough. And then you see this accessories. You got some hands, some gesture hands that are pretty unique to the Bitten series. See, this hand is decomposing. This is from Dawn. You can see it's lighter and it's kind of translucent because it's decaying. You know, the skin is not as rich as it used to be, and you can see that the fingers are deformed. You clearly see the decomposition of some wounds in there, and then some frost bites, I'm assuming, on the fingers. You see some red, maybe blood, speckles and all that stuff. But I do like the gesture. They're all for the left hand though. The right hand is, I would say, for the trigger finger, and then you got this mask, this oxygen mask, kind of like a cut-off oxygen mask. Makes sense because they are in I would say in a prison, being treated, or maybe being experimented upon. It says here, in search of origin of the deadly virus. Okay, some kind of a secret experiment. So they are, because they're prisoners, it just makes sense that they're the ones who is basically the guinea pigs for this virus. And then you got this M16 with M203 in the back, and nicely painted. You can see the upper receiver moves, and then you can't remove the magazine. It's not like you have. I mean, they're zombies. They're not gonna use the guns. It does have some blood all over it. You're gonna assume that this was used by some of the officers or military personnel inside, and maybe the zombies got a hold of it before they turned. And then you got this drip stand, which has real functioning casters. It does roll, and you could use it in different setting as well. You know, if you get like a hospital scene, Rick Grimes, for example, when he was in the hospital, you could use this with a drip bag, with the IV bag. And then you got the stand. It says Bitten here, which is pretty consistent with their Lord of the Rings stand, but they have their own twist to it. It is not a crotch grabber. It does have that waist clamp on it. So let's take a look at the tailoring. The tennis shoes that they do have kind of reminds me of an Asics, but it's white and it's really dirty. And then you have their prison outfit, which is orange, but there's a lot of blood in it. And if you're interested, Asmus did put up a video for the making of Don and Dave, which is pretty interesting. Seamless arms as well, which is pretty cool. And you can see again the decomposition of the skin. It's wrinkly. It has a lot of open wounds to it. You can see the veins. Perhaps the water has been drained out of the body. The uniform, the prison uniform they have, is dirty. It has rips and dirt and blood. Yeah, I did put in the handcuffs in there. There you go. That is die cast. It doesn't open up, but what you do is you just take off the hand and you peg them in, and you kind of insert them in, and kind of resembles, you know, when he's maybe handcuffed in the bed. That's how he got away. Maybe he broke the bed and ripped towards the end of his pants with blood on it. Overall, it gives you that zombie eerie vibe that these guys have victimized someone. And then moving towards the back part of the figure, you can see the vein work and the nice details to the body of this guy. It's wrapped, basically the torso is wrapped as well. It's like a generic 1/6 body, but they put a little twist on it, and they put this rubber arms, rubber body, because you could expose his chest, which I would showcase later. And you can see there's a tear on the back of his uniform as well, and the tear is all over the place, which is great. And you have two options to basically close the uniform or open it up. You can see the wounds in here. It's not focusing my camera, so let me zoom out a little bit here. Yep. And you can't even see the ball joint which connects the wrist, which is pretty cool. And the shoes, as usual, is very dirty. And that is Don. I mean, that's Dave, and we got Don in here which again is a different skin tone, more a lighter skin tone. You can make an argument that maybe he's lost a lot of blood. And I opened up his uniform specifically to showcase the detail inside the body, because they didn't have to do this, but this is a display option. And you can make an argument that you could get two to display them in such a fashion, one with a complete uniform on, and again to add to your zombie collection. You can see his chest was ripped wide open, and you could actually remove this rib cage. It's harder for me because there's like a tripod literally on my chest as I was doing this. So, but it's easy. It's just pegged in there. But yeah, you could remove this, and then you expose more of mainly a flesh inside, some organs perhaps inside of him, and then the folds inside of his chest, like it was cut open. It is phenomenal. Like the detailed work that they put in. That's why I'm glad I have two to showcase the details in his neck area, and in this chest cavity, as you can see here. Because it's a shame to just close it up, but at the same time, you also want that look, because you got that prison look. But luckily, I guess again, you got two. That's why they offered two, so you do have that option. He was cut open and then folded the skin, or I would say the meat of his chest onto the side to expose, you know, his organs and tissues and all that inside. Man, attention to the look at that, all those details right here going up into his neck area. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And now let's take a look at the head sculpt. This rotten, decomposing, disgusting yet beautiful head sculpt. This is Dave. You can't barely notice, you know, like the human flesh in here. He's more of a green now than a skin tone. See the wounds. The back of his head is partially stitched, as you can see there. You can tell that there's a lot of experimenting happened here. Compared to Johnson or Jackson, the one that I have, with Jackson, you could remove and replace his jaw to mimic an open jaw or closed, but the trade-in for that is you see the seam on his face, because you could interchange the jawline, and also at the back of his head you could remove a brain tissue. In here, it's just wound that's open, and you can see part of his brain, which is pretty brilliant. But you know, there's a lot of wounds and maybe bite marks on his neck, in his face. His teeth is still intact, but it got bloody. His nose is just been bitten off. It seems like his eyes are not there anymore. So it's an overall good look, and I like it because it does also represent Dawn, which is pretty much again the same exact figure. I was hoping that he'd have like a hair or something, but the skin tone difference is enough to make a distinction between the two, that it's not completely like identical, so to speak. You know, like I said, you can put each in a different, I would say, situation or look. That one has an open shirt, the other one doesn't, the other one might be crawling, which I would showcase later on as well when I put him in the post session area there. We could do that. But it's nice. Both of them are really quality figures for the price that Asmus was offering them for. This one, because of his lighter, I would say just pale skin tone, it gives you this idea that the other one's decomposing. Him is just, he lost a lot of blood, that he's just pale at this point, right? Like, and then you got Dave in there. You can see him moving around here. Both of them have their own merits. You can just get one if you want to. You don't need to get both. But, you know, option wise, I think you have more. Articulation, this is on a standard body that's kind of like wrapped with rubber all over him to give you that seamless look, and also that decaying, because it's not possible to just do that on a regular body with just paint. This is the biggest selling point, I would say, is the inside of the shirt. Also the seamless arms and the wounds and all that stuff. But there's a trade-off, and as you can see here, because it is wrapped in rubber, you can't go past a certain point on the elbows. That's the trade-off. That's just how it works. And I don't even recommend you doing this for a long period of time because it is rubber, and over time, if you pose him as such, you put the risk of just damaging the elbows altogether. The inside of the body, there's no damage there whatsoever. And the impressive part is that there is a waist articulation. I thought there wasn't going to be any, but this is like a rubber suit that doesn't remove any waist, which is amazing to begin with. That it could still have that movement. Legs can kick up pretty high. You know, arms same way. They are ratcheted to a degree, and as you can see here, they're a bit tight right out of the box, but you can see here it does fold. There's blood. They just painted the inside of the leg with blood as well. They didn't have to do that, but they did. You barely see that anyway. Attention to detail. Butterfly joints on the elbow. You again ratcheted, soft ratchet on the arms. You can raise it sideways. Basically, the only hindrance I would say would be the elbows, but zombies doesn't really bend their elbows all that much. You know, like they have this stiff arm movement anyway. And let's do some poses with these two guys. And like I said, you can never have too many zombies. That's the thing with these guys. You can never have too many, and it's beautiful. I think the way they look, and then if you put them in different situations, different poses, like here the backdrop is just a prison cell. Maybe they got stuck in there. I just had him hold the gun. Maybe that's how he died, just holding the gun. Doesn't mean he's gonna use it. Doesn't make sense that a zombie would use a gun, but he's just dragging it on the floor. And Dave here is just still now wearing the mask, because I didn't get to shoot that with him wearing the mask. And the good thing about the zombies is that you could put him, and that makes sense that they are in a waist clamp, because like the post that I put Dave in here, or Don, is that he's leaning backwards. Like that's what zombie does. You know, their bodies are contorted in like some weird fashion because they're no longer humans. So he's bended backwards, and it looks really good. It looks really good in here. Also, Dave, he's just walking around with that bag, and you can do different poses, and your creativity is endless when it comes to these kind of figures. Like I said, because of how it is set up, they're zombies, and then you can interact them with other figures in your collection. Like if you have a Resident Evil, Walking Dead, I'm sure it's Silent Hill. You know, Silent Hill's not really zombies, but you know, you get what I mean. Zombies are the most generic bad guys out there. Outside of guys in suits, you know, if you got guys in suits, you can always do with John Wick, and they're pretty much the generic bad guys. Zombies, you just have to create different looks. Like this guy right here, you know, and I got Daryl. He's about to get bitten by Jackson on his back. You know, he's in the prison back in The Walking Dead. I don't know, season 3, perhaps 4, I forgot. But yeah, here he is, Daryl, surrounded by zombies. It would be lovely to have a horde of these zombies, you know, in your collection. I don't even have Resident Evil figures. I wish I did. Or military figures, you could have that as well. Like they are containing this pandemic of sorts. And you got Rick Grimes again in the prison. I got Jackson there crawling, because you could do it as poses as well. You can have him crawl, bite someone, Rick fighting for his life. You could do all sorts of things in here that just, you know, inspires you, I suppose, in whatever it is that you want to do, you know. And if you have more Walking Dead figures, and the good thing about the zombies as well is that, like, especially with these, David, if you're just doing photography, you can just mirror them. That's the good thing about it. You can just put a mirror. I have another Rick Grimes coming up from season 7, so again, this would be a perfect complement to other figures, not just Asmus collectibles, but to any of your figures, to have them surrounded by these guys. So I'm looking forward to the twins, not gonna lie. And my final thoughts on this too, beautiful. Again, zombie, I'm all for it. If this was priced any differently, higher, it's still feasible, maybe up to 180, but 155 is just a sweet deal, because like I said, a 1/6 third party is normally around 180 right now. And Asmus is known, you know, they have licenses all over, Lord of the Rings, Yu Yu Hakusho, Devil May Cry. This is their own baby. This is their own original series, which is Bitten, and I'm looking forward to more figures, because that means it will just give variations to my zombie horde that I'm trying to build. Not just for a compliment, but zombies never go out of style, man. You can pair them up with, you know, somebody. If you have Pennywise or Hellboy, I don't know. It's the possibilities are endless with these zombie figures. Like I said, military figures, police figures. You can create an entire scene just by these guys. And then you have what do you call this? The Last of Us. You know, possibilities are endless. And the price. And there's so many components in here that you could use in other figures as well. The gun, handcuffs, the ivy, and all that stuff. But thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.